Hi friends, welcome to the best instrument, or at least the best wind instrument in band, the clarinet. Today we're going to talk about the fundamentals of first putting it together, and then we're going to form just the embouchure needed to play just a few notes, and then we're going to disassemble it. Cool. So for starters, I'm going to put my case on the ground at all times, so you won't see it in view, but it is on the ground. It's flat, and I'm making sure that the buckles, the things that flip up originally, are, let's see, closer to the ground so that you know that you don't accidentally open it up and your clarinet will fall. So, first, let's put this thing together. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my reed and I'm just going to stick it in my mouth. I give it very gentle licks, I guess you could call it, just while it's in my mouth, just to get it moist and wet and ready to play, because you can't really play on a dry reed. We've got our bell. This is the bottom of the clarinet. It's deceptively not where the sound comes out of, but it's still crucial. And you're gonna take this is called the lower joint. It's got 4 keys on the bottom. That's really just the best way you're going to be able to distinguish it from the other half of the clarinet. And you're just going to stick it right on. Oh, guess what? This needs cork grease. I would apply this maybe, I applied about 1/3 of the time that I put it together. I'll show you how. All you have to do is gently rub it in maybe one spot and then use your finger to rub it in all around the edge. This is just going to, as the name implies, grease up the cork, and it'll allow all the pieces to slide on easier, just like that. Awesome. And that, you don't really have to worry about how it's aligned at all. The upper joint is the next section, and it's going to go right onto the lower joint, if you can tell. A couple things to note is that you always want, basically the tone, like most of the keys are at the bottom. That's how you know that you're putting it on the right way. And additionally, there are a couple keys that are so close to the clarinet that if you try to just push it together, they're going to actually hit each other and start bending. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to close these tone holes while you press down, and the tone holes are going to line up among the clarinet, and if you don't get it perfectly, that's okay. You can just twist it a little bit, and voila, all the keys look like they are in one row. Then you're going to take your barrel. This is your barrel, the cylindrical, I think that's the word, the cylinder looking thing, and you're going to slide it on, big end first, same way. I could have put cork grease on that one, but that's okay. And then we've got our mouthpiece. Hopefully there's always a lid on it, a cap on it. And we'll just slide it off for now, put it back in the case. And this is called the ligature. This holds the reed onto the mouthpiece. We'll take care of that in a second. The mouthpiece is going to slide in just like the rest, and you want the side with the hole with the slot for the reed to be facing away from the tone holes, because the tone holes are going to be on the opposite side of where I'm holding it, so I need the hole to face me, or at least the hole of the mouthpiece. Now to place the reed on there, it is pretty tricky. So the ligature, make sure you tighten. On this specific one, you can see that it makes a little H, or at least that's what it looks like. And you're going to simply, very carefully, I'll come a little closer for this. You want to, let's see, slide the reed in. The logo is going to face you, and you're going to slide it into that H and slowly move it down. Where I like to put my reed is I want to make sure it is completely in the center of the mouthpiece. Try not to touch the top, even though I just did. In the center, and you don't want to see black, like above the reed like that. You don't want to see any black So you want to push it about right there, where it's maybe poking over by like a millimeter. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the H. Sorry, this is a weird angle. You're going to take the H. You want maybe that much gap between the like of the thicker part of the reed, just like maybe half or a quarter of an inch even, and then just tighten the bolts on the back of the clarinet. And voila, we have our clarinet. Now, the other thing I'll recommend, and you're gonna see me doing a lot as I start to play, is I drink lots of water when I'm playing, because you need, I mean, if you're playing with a dry mouth, it's going to make the embouchure a lot harder to pull off. So this time I'm gonna move you closer to where I'm at so we can talk embouchure. All right, I'll angle up a little bit. Craziest sound ever. All right, let's talk about how to play this thing. Great sounds. All right. Stay hydrated when you play. Any wind instrument for that matter. All right. To start playing, we're actually going to take just the barrel and the mouthpiece, because you can still replicate the embouchure. The embouchure, it refers to the shape of the lip, or the shape of the mouth, from the jaw to the tongue to the teeth to every part of the mouth, to make sure that this is being played correctly. So I'm gonna create the proper clarinet embouchure even without the piece in my mouth. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is curl your bottom lip like over the top of your bottom row of teeth. You look really weird. And when you do that, your chin should be like an even plane. It's pretty flat and it's parallel to the ground. Obviously I'm leaning down a little bit just to show the camera, but when I play, I'm gonna have my back straight. Yeah. And the reed is gonna sit about, the halfway point of the reed is gonna sit on your lip, right here. Now your teeth are going to your top teeth are gonna very gently come on top. If I take this lip out of the way, I'm not biting down won't make a sound. They're just there mainly for structural support so that the mouthpiece doesn't move around. Your upper lip is just gonna rest on there with the teeth, and the reed is not going to do what it won't do its job if there's air escaping your mouth and not having all the pressure onto the reed. So in order to do that, you have to close your lips all the way around it. You need as tight of a hole as possible so that it's all focused to the reed. And the best way to do that is when you have your embouchure like this, you're gonna say, he-you, and it's gonna close your lip. He just tightens like the horizontal part, and then you brings it all up and down centered. So when I do that around the clarinet, he-you, there's no holes, there's nothing on the top or to the side that allows air to escape. There's no hole, and that's what you want. It's going to feel pretty tense at first. You need to make sure your jaw is always relaxed, otherwise you're gonna tense up and then feel like unnecessary and crazy discomfort. And from there, breathe in with your mouth. So I breathe in, I make holes with my mouth while I breathe in, and then right before I exhale is when I tighten. It's like this. Close. And that's when I'd exhale. Cool. So now I'm just going to simply exhale into the instrument with all air facets, is that a term? All air pockets sealed. Nice. For those of you following at home, I think that's an F sharp. Spot on. Yeah. Oh. So that time I took too little mouthpiece, and what I mean by that is I had my lip more here rather than here. It's gonna feel weird at first, but you want most of the reed part of the reed, like more the thin part. You want more than half of it. I go about to like the 2/3 mark. So about right here is where I try to get my lip to end up. I'll do that one more time. Takes a lot of air. Make sure you are breathing from the diaphragm. You want like your belly to fill with air, like it pushes your hand out. Nice. So now I'm going to put this on the clarinet, and I'm going to mimic that exact thing. Now for these purposes, the note I'm going to play is middle C, but because clarinet is an instrument created in B flat, it's going to sound like B flat. Like if I played it, when I play this C, it's going to make a B flat sound to like a tuner, and that's just of the size of the instrument. All right, so I'm going to do something no differently. I'm going to do exactly on my embouchure what I did with just the mouthpiece and the barrel. Awesome. That's how you make a sound with the clarinet. If you hear something like this, it means your fingers are not confidently fully tight on the tone holes. Now, some notes, you might have all your fingers down, some notes you might have 0 of them down, but on notes where you do have tone holes covered, you need to make sure they are always as secured as possible with the pads of your fingers, not the fingertips, but the pads of your fingers. Make sure they're fully covered and that you're not too tense, because yeah, that's how you make sound. Awesome. Cool. Now let's talk about taking this thing apart. Putting this apart? You can't really say that, I guess, but take this thing apart. I'm gonna scoot you back a little bit. Hopefully my camera won't fall over. Awesome, okay. We're gonna start with the reed, and we're going to slip it back in the little slot it comes in, like that. And then we're going to take the mouthpiece with the ligature off. We're going to save the rest of the clarinet for a second here. Make sure the cap goes back on, assuming your clarinet has a cap for the mouthpiece. And then we're going to talk about swabbing. Now this cloth is made because as you blow into your clarinet, there's naturally going to be spit that gets in there because, you know, you're using your mouth and all of your air pressure is going into it. So this is the way I do it, at least. You take the bell and you take the white string and you slowly lower it in. You want to make sure your hand isn't too shaky and moving around because you don't want it to get stuck in a tone hole or on one of the keys. And as I do that, miraculously, huzzah, it will soon come out the bottom, or at least maybe I can reach in and grab it. Oh, not yet. All right, bear with me. All right, there we go. It came out the bottom. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drag, I'm gonna pull on this. The swab is going to go through and clear the spit out. Now be careful as you pull this out, spit might start to drip. So I do it away from yourself or other things. Just, I don't know, spit is gross. From there, we're gonna take each piece apart carefully. So the barrel is first, then the upper joint, and you wanna pull straight up because these keys right here, the bridge keys, are overlapping. Technically, one is over the other, and if you wiggle it, then they could bend and hit each other. So you want to pull it straight up. Place every piece back in how you got it. There are the little holes in the case, and then you're going to just take your bell and your lower joint apart. And that, my friends, is how you put together a clarinet and how you take it apart, as well as how to form your first ever notes. With that being said, good choice on the clarinet. This is the first wind instrument I've learned, and so far, this is my favorite, obviously, but I think it'll continue to be my favorite. I'm playing this next semester at my first ensemble, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you learned something. Awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day.